Luz y progreso, en gracia a la misericordia. This is Sancista Luis, and I'm doing a trabajo espiritual for a client where this individual is having a court case coming up soon. So this individual wanted me to do un trabajo espiritual for this person. So of course I did. I prepared. Of course I always do divination first, and I prepared un recuerdo, and I prepared un baño espiritual, and now I am also doing a trabajo with a con un velón, a candle. So this is a candle spell for court cases. And what you're going to need is the way I do it, you're going to need a candle, 7-day candle, but you want the kind that pulls out from the glass. Okay, so you're going to need that. You're going to need some form of pick. Okay, we're going to use this little pick. Okay, for the candle spell. You're going to need, I don't know how you call these in English, alfileres. Okay, these, those little things that women use to, I don't know what they use them for. You're going to use alcoholado, and I use Puerto Rican alcoholado superior 70. And this is alcoholado, and this is the one that I always use the most for cleaning things. You're going to need some form of oil, a magical oil. This one's for like a court case or, for luck. Okay, so this is an oil, and an herb that I'm going to use is, right here you see is amansaguapo. Amansaguapo, I think is called balmony in English. Sorry if I'm wrong, but I'm going to use amansaguapo for this spell. Not spell, for this trabajo espiritual. And I'm going to use un pilón y una maceta. Okay, more than a peso. You're also going to need, that's heavy. You're also going to need pen and a piece of paper. Okay? So the first thing you're going to do is when you get the candle is you're going to pull it out. Okay, and see, I'm sure that you buy these in a botanica and you don't know who plays with these things. So you're going to get a piece of cloth or a piece of paper somehow, and you're just going to clean with your alcoholado superior 70 from Puerto Rico. Just pour some on that onto the towel and give that a nice cleaning up. Remove, you don't know who touched this candle before you, so you want to make sure, it smells really good, but you want to make sure you clean that up really nice, and good. Make sure you clean the outside of your velón. Always, you should clean your velones. When you buy a velón or a candle, whether it's the pull-out kind or it's not, you should, before you do anything, you should try to clean them up. Also, add a little bit more, clean your vela, okay? Your candle, okay? Try to pick up anything that, again, you never know who touched the candle before you bought the candle. So just make sure you give it a nice cleaning, okay? And this is where we're gonna start, okay? And you're gonna place the velón, the candle back into the candle holder or the candle base. Okay, now into your mortal and pestle, it's going to take some of the amansaguapo. You don't need that much, just a little bit, because you can't use it like that whole. And you're going to start getting it into, this is the work, so I'm not going to do the whole video on this, but you're going to try to get it as powdery as you can. With a little effort, you soon notice that your amansaguapo is nice and powdery, and that's what you want. You don't use all of this. This is a little bit too much amansaguapo. You can use a little bit for this trabajo espiritual that I'm going to use, that I'm going to do, and store the rest away for a future trabajo espiritual. Your amansaguapo, and you want it as powder as you can get it. Takes a little effort. See how that's nice and powdery? And that's what you want for this trabajo espiritual. Now we're going to place our attention back to the candle. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your little, I don't know what you call this thing. I use this for my candle magics. What you're going to do is you're going to make 7, I'm not sure if it's 7 or 6, we'll find out in a minute. Because what you need is 7, it's like 7 layers, okay? So what you're going to do is take your finger and then make a little, sorry I stick my tongue out when I do a little trabajo. So you're going to do 1, and that's 1 little pillar, 1. And then you're going to do that all the way down until you get 1, 2. Okay, so 1, 2, you're going to do 1 more. You're going to do that all the way down. 1, 2, 3, okay? Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to do 6 holes. Okay, they don't have to be perfectly aligned. What you want is 6 holes, and try to get them as even as possible, because what you want is 7 columns. Okay, this is going to help you to mark your candle and where you're going to mark your candle. So now that you got these 7 holes, you're going to go, these 6 holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which makes it 7 columns. Now what you're going to do is you're going to mark, separate it. Actually, it's going to be better this way. Separate it. I'm going to show you what it looks like when I do all 7. You see what I'm saying? And I'm going to do it right now, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, now if you notice, of course, it doesn't look perfectly straight line, and I know a lot of people are going to say, oh my God, it's not. Don't worry about it. What you want is the 7 columns, and that's very important. Okay? Again, you're going to get your alcoholado 70 Puerto Rican bay rum. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. Your Puerto Rican bay rum, your alcoholado. You're going to put it on another clean piece of paper. Sorry. I'm just going to wipe down the velón, the candle. Okay. Try to pick up as much as you can and pick the mess all around you that you made. Alright, so this is what the velón looks like. It's got the 7 columns, so remember it's 6 little dots, and then from those dots you're gonna get 7 columns. Okay, this is just a big, trust me, just only the beginning of the spell. Okay, is a candle for removing or for protection. Basically much for removing. It's a court case candle for a client of mine. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add oil and I'm gonna rub it down the candle. Now if it's to bring something, okay, you wanna push upwards. So I'm gonna put a little bit of the oil, you don't need that much, into the palm of your hand. Okay, I can't show you. Okay, and then what you're gonna do is just get it all over the candle. Okay, smells pretty good. You're gonna get the wick, get it all in there. Okay, and your hands are nice and oily. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more. You don't need that much. Okay, just a little bit goes a long way, but I like to give my clients a little bit of extra. Now while you're doing this, you're concentrating. Now, things that you want to concentrate. Okay. Also, you could also write words on each of the columns, depending on what the trabajo espiritual is for. This one's for a court case, so I would write what you want on each of the columns, or not just what you want. If it's an enemy that's taking you to court or whatever it may be, you could put the person's name, the judge, the place where it's going to be, etc., etc., etc. Okay, I'm going to leave that to the client herself to do that. Okay, I'm just preparing the candle for her. So after you oil the candle down, before I even touch the phone, I'm gonna dry my hands up. Give me 1 second, please. Okay, here we have our Amansa Guapo, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the candle and we're gonna go all over that powdered Amansa Guapo. Try to get as much as you can. Rub it around that Amansa Guapo. Take some of the Amansa Guapo, Sprinkle it all over. Da belong. You're going to take your little pins. You can use green, these little things, bobby pins, I think you're going to call they called. You're going to take your pin and you're going to direct your energy and wish what it is that you want for, if you're doing the spell for yourself or the trabajo espiritual for yourself, what the energy is coming from your consciousness into the metal of the pin and is going into the candle. So you're going to try to find those places where you marked, and then you're going to just place one of the intentions that you want into that location, and you're going to do that 6 times. Before you even touch this, what you're going to do is, if you're having a problem with people in court, of course my client's having problems with 3 people, so I wrote the names of each of the person, the lawyer, the judge, and the one who's the complainant. I put them in a piece of paper, added just a little bit of black pepper, and I folded away from myself 3 times. What I'm going to do to these papers is I'm going to burn each one of them like so. Be careful when you're messing with fire, okay, please. And what you're going to want to do is going to make sure that it burns up as much as possible. And these are all going to go into your candle holder. Okay? So you want that inside each one of them into your candle. You want to make sure you get those into ashes. So there's one. Say the name out loud. There's one. There's a second one. You want to make sure it burns into ashes. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a nice ash. Make sure you do that to the other one like so. Make sure it's not going to burn completely. So I'm going to make sure that this one, the final one, because I want to make sure I get that into nice. And if it, you want it completely burnt. Okay. All right. I'm going to take that out and I'm going to burn them again because I want to make sure that that's completely into ashes. Pretty much into ashes. What I'm going to sprinkle into the jar is a little bit of dirt from, still you can see the smoke coming up. You see, I try to get as much as ashy as I can. I don't know if you can tell. But into the jar, I'm going to put a little bit of dirt from the lawyer's office and a little bit of dirt. Yeah, that was from the lawyer's office. Make sure I got the right dirt. Okay. And a little bit of dirt from the courthouse. And that's going to go into the jar. Okay. Then I'm going to carefully place this candle back into. Sometimes these little things don't let it happen that easily. So give me one moment. Okay, to push them in a little bit more so you see the pins are still there. Okay, make sure you can see the pins. And I'm going to carefully push it back in to the jar. Take a little bit more of this oil, pour it on top. Well, that was a little bit too much. Demasiado mucho, a little bit too much. And I'm going to oil down the rim of the belon and sprinkle it a little bit more with mansa guapo. And I'm going to take a picture of what that looks like for you. Now that the belong is pretty much prepared, I'm going to bless and charge it. It's been blessed and charged during the whole time that I've been doing this. So what I do is I place the candle down. Let's see if I can get its angle so that you can see what I'm doing. And what I do is I close my eyes. Pureza, pureza, pureza. Sanctus, sanctus, sanctus. Pureza, pureza, pureza. Sanctus, sanctus, sanctus. Pureza, pureza, pureza. Sanctus, sanctus, sanctus. Paz, paz, paz. Cristo, 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 Dominus nostrum. Paz, paz, paz. Cristo, 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 Dominus nostrum. Now that the candle is lit, the client will light it for 7 days or leave it lit for 7 days. And each night, the client will recite a prayer or a psalm. Sorry, they're moving their phone. A prayer or a psalm that I give them, usually Psalm 24 and I think it's 58. And they could also recite a Spanish prayer. And I'm going to do one real quickly, which is, Oh fuerza de la luz, yo te llamo a ti. Protege a tu humilde siervo y libera de este tormento. Déjame caminar en la luz y libérame del cautiverio. Perdona al maldiciente y exima al perverso. Oh Señor, en ti confío, porque tú proteges a los antepasados. Tu justicia es perfecta, tu sabiduría es ley. 3000 rayos tiene la luna, 3000 rayos tiene el sol. 3000 veces sean arrepentidos los enemigos que tenga yo. 3000 rayos tiene la luna, 3000 rayos tiene el sol. 3000 veces vengan arrepentidos los enemigos que tenga yo. You will leave the candle lit for the 7 days. And when on the night before the court date, and hopefully it will be almost done, the night before the court date or the night before the person has to go to the court, the candle will be off. She's going to place this candle into a brown paper bag, and she's going to pass it all over her body. Okay, and then she's going to leave somewhere as closely as possible to the courthouse where the court case is going to be. This is Sancista Luis. If you liked this video, please like, please subscribe. If you have any questions, please ask. Santo Sanse, Sancista Luis.